Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. This time, not in the kitchen, instead in an empty room. As you can see, it's not outside. I also have a tree frog hanging out on one of the windows. Maybe I'll show that to you in a second. Very exciting. The frog. The frog. But today we're going to be talking about some upcoming new fragrances, including some from Afnan, Lacoste, and a new Hawas. That's not all. There's also a new Ralph's Club, and get this, because they already have an elixir, it's not called elixir. Although maybe it would be kind of cool for them to come out with like Ralph's Club Elixir Absolute Intense. Just an idea. So yeah, all of this is going to be linked in the description below in case you want to check the fragrances out. They're going to be mainly pulled from ifragranceofficial.com, so check that website out anytime you want to see about upcoming new releases. Let's talk first really quickly about the new Lacoste. So this is Lacoste Original Parfum. It should have been elixir, it would have been way more successful. Introducing Lacoste Original Parfum, the latest flanker of the Lacoste Original Eau de Parfum. That's a really good way to describe that. Crafted to deliver a refined experience for the modern day man, this new fragrance promises a thrilling twist. Presented in the signature square-shaped glass flacon of Lacoste Original, it features a darker green hue and a white label on the front that reads the fragrance's name and concentration. Cool, I guess. Now guys, hear me out. It's got a thrilling twist. Now, hold on to your titties. The twist is that the bottle is darker green. And there's a label. So in terms of notes, this one has cardamom and ginger off the top, lavender in the mid, incense, patchouli, and tonka in the base. Now Lacoste Original Eau de Parfum came out last year and a lot of people were not really excited by it, basically because it's a reused name. So there already was Lacoste Original, and then Lacoste New Original came out, and a lot of people were upset that it wasn't the same as the original, if that makes any sense. And it's a fragrance that's, you know, decent. It's a typical Lacoste in the sense that it's wearable, it's versatile, you know, it's got a touch of class to it. But that one just is not like an amazing attention grabber for a lot of people. And so it just fell a little bit flat. And in terms of notes, that one is a little bit different than the new Parfum, which you would expect. So they share the cardamom, but the new version is missing the citrus off the top and pink pepper as well. They share the lavender, they share the patchouli, they share the tonka, but they don't share the incense. So honestly, looking at the note breakdown, not super excited by it. Of course, I'll check it out, try it out, see how it is, and once it hits discounters, if it's pretty cheap, it probably is worth checking out anyway because of Lacoste's typical versatility, the type of fragrances that you can wear daytime or evening in just about any situation on the cheap. But yeah, just not really super exciting. No breakdown or write-up or anything else. But they do say it has a thrilling twist. I'm not sure what that twist is looking at the note breakdown, but thrilling. Next up, let's talk about the new Rasasi Hawas. Yes, another one. They just they're gonna never stop. Like, you guys have talked about how much you dislike elixir flankers. How about Hawas flankers? That's the new elixir. But I gotta give it to Rasasi. You know, at least they're coming out with more things. They sat on their heels for a long time and didn't really release a whole bunch of stuff while all the other brands did, and they're trying to catch up. So this one is called Hawas Tropical. The write-up says, discover Rasasi Hawas Tropical Eau de Parfum for Men, the latest addition to the Hawas collection. A sparkling, radiant fragrance that draws its inspiration from a tropical escape. It begins with a refreshing fusion of fig leaf, coconut water, and ginger. Where have I heard something similar to that before? Tropical with fig and coconut water. Paving the way to a revitalizing smooth heart of coconut, fig, and mint. So fig leaf, coconut water, and ginger, and then coconut, fig, and mint. That's a lot of fig and coconut. The fragrance nestles upon a cozy base of tonka bean musk and sandalwood. It's an impeccable choice for daytime wear, exuding elegance and allure with every spritz. So yeah, if this note breakdown holds, as I just said, fig leaf, coconut water, and ginger, followed up by coconut fig and mint, and then tonka musk and sandalwood. So double the fig, double the coconut with the big old blast of tonka. Yeah, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that this is 99% going to be a Paradise Garden clone. There's a bug. Get away from me. I'm trained in Kung Fu. Which I guess makes sense. They came out with Hawas Elixir, which is Lamal Elixir, and everybody is kind of getting on the Jean Paul Gaultier train right now as far as the different clone brands are concerned. You know, we've got Scandal, Scandal Absolute, Le Beau, Le Parfum, Le Beau Paradise Garden. Ultramall has a billion clones out there, Lamal Elixir, etc., etc. So it makes sense. At the same time, it is one of those things where maybe you go, you know, maybe I'd kind of wish that they were coming out with something else. Maybe, you know, a twist, a hybrid, maybe a clone that hasn't been done as much. That being said, Hawas fragrance is typically very high quality. And bug didn't learn his lesson on you soap again, buddy. It's a friggin' game over for you, my man. So yeah, maybe it would be a little more interesting if it were something different. But like I was saying, Hawas typically high quality, and once they hit discounters and the price starts to drop a little bit, they become way more of an attractive pickup. And to be fair, if they do come out with a Paradise Garden clone and it ends up being like the best Paradise Garden clone, then I guess at that point it's worth it, right? Because there has to be like the chosen one, the clone that's like the best of the best. So even if there are like 4, 5, 100 different clones of a fragrance, then if it's the best one, then it is what it is. So the new Hawas hitting us soon, and actually it's a good time for them to pop that out there. You don't want to wait too much longer, because if they came out with Hawas Tropical in like September, October, then at that point you've kind of missed the mark. It's like when Eros Energy came out at the very, very, very end of summer. So even though I've smelled a lot of Paradise Garden, I am still looking forward to this one. I'm gonna add it to the Hawas collection, and we'll see how it is. Now, next up, we have a new Turathi and a new Ralph's Club, but before those fragrances, some codes. I'm gonna point out specifically the Gift Express code, which is 15% off the entire website. They have a ton of fragrances there. And then if you're looking for clone fragrances, the Perfume Box has amazing deals. I have a code for them as well. Then there's also codes for Beauty House, even more clones. The JOMASHOP ones work only within the app, be aware of that. And then a multitude of other codes across a bunch of websites. So anytime you shop at those stores, use those codes. All right, the next one, Ralph's Club, New York. Now I gotta say, you know, flankers are what they are. We all know the deal at this point, but when I saw the name, I was like, at least it's different. You know, it's not Ralph's Club Absolute. It's not Ralph's Club Profumo or Elixir, because they already have that. No, this one is just Ralph's Club New York. And part of me is really hoping that it becomes somehow ultra successful, and then we start seeing New York flankers. I don't know why, just like want to see the world burn a little bit, but just imagine for a second that every brand comes out with a New York flanker or something, or a Chicago flanker, Los Angeles flanker. Check out the new Sauvage New York, capturing the energy of this city that never sleeps. So anyway, let's read about Ralph's Club New York. Seductive, noble, and dominant. Ralph's Club New York is an irresistible fragrance that captures the lively New York City. And here I was thinking it was New York State. We captured the energy of Rochester, New York. It begins with a blast of succulent black currant accord used for the first time ever in a masculine scent. You sure about that? You sure about that? A black currant accord used for the first time ever in a masculine scent. Now I think anyway, if there was a really popular men's fragrance, something or other with black currant, man, what is that one? I can't think of it. It's, Sure, it wasn't that big. Maybe that's why they forgot about it. And I mean, not for nothing. I mean, a lot of the masculine fragrances that have used blackcurrant are niche fragrances, but there have been designer men's fragrances that have blackcurrant, like Opium Pour Homme, Barbados XX by John Barbados, and a number of others too. So yeah, maybe it's not the first time that they've ever used blackcurrant in a men's fragrance, but maybe what they actually mean is this very particular accord made specifically just for this fragrance. It's the first time that's been used. Gotcha. Anyway, it uses the blackcurrant accord before it paves the way to a fusion of smooth vanilla and cozy sandalwood. The bottle is crafted in a see-through finish, drawing its inspiration from a gentleman's flask, and boasts a black rhombus R diamond monogram as a nod to the legacy of the iconic city. So off the top, blackcurrant, wrinkled leaves accord. That's interesting. Green Italian mandarin and bergamot. Wrinkled leaves. That one, I think that might actually be a first, at least as far as designers go, I'm sure. In the mid, it has lavender, geranium, and sandalwood. And then in the base, moss, fir balsam, and bourbon vanilla. So obviously the first thing that's gonna pop into a lot of people's minds when they see blackcurrant along with citrus is Aventus. Choose your choice. You know, Absolute Aventus Cologne, whatever. People are gonna think Aventus. It wouldn't surprise me if there's like a little touch of Aventus in there. I'm not saying that it's gonna smell super similar. I don't think it will, looking at the full note breakdown, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's one of those fragrances that has like a little hint of it, you know, something to like get people enticed right off the rip, but then it kind of does its own thing and ends up being its own fragrance. Because of course there are a billion different scents out there that are kind of like that, where you smell them and you're like, oh, it reminds me a little bit of XYZ, but then at the end of the day, it's its own thing. That wouldn't surprise me too much. And that's kind of like the expectation I have just looking at that initial note breakdown. A juicy blackcurrant, probably a little bit tart, but then also sweet, balanced out with those citrus notes. It does have some like very classic masculine stylings through the mid, lavender, geranium, sandalwood. You see those used all the time together. The wrinkled leaves, I'm like a little interested to see how that plays out. If we're talking about wrinkled leaves in the sense of like end of fall, like crumply leaves, like I don't know exactly how that would factor in. Could be cool. Or if it's just a really trendy way of saying, hey, it's like a little green in there. You got a little green aspect, wrinkled leaves. Or does it mean like leather, wrinkled leather leaves? No, that makes no sense. And I'm also interested in the vanilla, the bourbon vanilla. Like how much is that used? Because that's extremely popular nowadays. Vanilla and bourbon vanilla are used everywhere nowadays. So I wonder if that's, you know, a very prominent part of the dry down, if that's like the focus, because it does say that it gives way to a blend of creamy vanilla and warm sandalwood, and sandalwood of course can come across very creamy as well. And those are the notes that are specifically highlighted in the write-up, which leads me to believe that that is going to be the focus as it dries down, not so much the moss and the fir balsam. So those I'm assuming are going to be more supporting notes, maybe just like a little bit of a woodsiness, touch of earth possibly, but probably not much. I will say though, even if that doesn't entice you a whole lot, the name, cool, the bottle, cool, and yeah, I know the name is just New York, but that's better than what we've been getting. I'll take it. And it reads to me, just in terms of the note breakdown and everything, like the type of fragrance that could crush, like that type of scent that you could wear just about anywhere with a little bit of a twist, like a slightly unique aspect, but paying homage to some of the more popular things that came before it. That's how it kind of reads to me, but we'll have to see. And last but not least, the new Afnan. This one is Turathi Electric. And I almost said Turathi Blue, like it's like just ingrained here. When I say the one word, the next one comes after. But no, this one is Turathi Electric. And Afnan, another brand that has been coming out with more and more stuff, new flankers of existing fragrances that have been really popular. So I don't know, it's like this fire that's been lit underneath some of these brands where they're just like really pumping out new things. So let's read the write-up for this one. Introducing Turathi Electric, the 5th member to join the iconic Turathi collection. When the summer sun centers the bright blue sky, sending its golden rays through the glass and the wind caresses the skin, an electrifying fragrance is born. That felt like a tongue twister. When the summer sun centers the bright blue sky, sending its golden rays through the glass and the wind caresses the skin. This radiant perfume is an ode to endless summer days and nighttime strolls, carefully crafted for the contemporary soul who's always effortlessly elegant and put together. The exhilarating scent opens with a sparkling breeze of bergamot and pink grapefruit, laced by the sweet, juicy touch of pear and mandarin orange. The heart unveils a subtle power, utilizing the duo of apple and orange blossom, accentuated by the earthy caress of cedarwood. The base is grounded in warmth with a medley of vanilla, amber, musk, and ambro fix. It does say the new fragrance is available at the official website in 90 ml size. Price is $53 US. So not so bad, considering that, of course, that's going to hit discounters and the price is going to drop down further. Afnan typically really nice in terms of quality. Turathi Blue, of course, fantastic for the price. So I would assume this is right there with it in terms of quality and everything. In terms of notes, off the top, bergamot, pink, grapefruit, pear, and mandarin orange. Just a fruity blast, sweet citrus and everything going together. Really attention grabbing, I'm assuming. In the mid, apple, cedarwood, and orange blossom. In the base, vanilla, amber musk, and amber fix. So this is one of those ones where you can kind of put the pieces together and figure out what it should smell similar to, and that fragrance is Blue Talisman, which does have a couple of clones out right now, some really popular ones, Art of Universe by Lattafa, and then Maison Asrar's Legacy, which, if you're unfamiliar with Maison Asrar, is part of Gulf Orchid, so maybe you've heard of that, if not the other. I know, it gets difficult to keep up with all the brands and sub-brands and sub-brands. Yeah. The question is, where is this one going to fall in the hierarchy of those fragrances? Because for a lot of people, as I said, Turathi Blue, that stuff is fantastic. That is one of the most commonly talked about summertime clone fragrances, which that one smells similar to Bulgari's Tiger, only much cheaper, and has great performance to boot. Now, I do have this one on order, so it should be arriving soon. My expectations, again, is that it's going to be quite similar to Blue Talisman, maybe more of a focus on the fruit off the top, because they do have a little more of that going on in terms of the note breakdown. So the expectation is a big blast of fruitiness, of sweetness, maybe leaning a little bit further in that direction as compared to Blue Talisman. But again, I'm gonna have to get it in to know for sure, which should be any day now. And I'm also expecting huge performance. A lot of projection, longevity, you know, that type of summertime fragrance that a lot of guys are looking for, that's going to have those fruity aspects, those sweet aspects, but those fresh aspects as well, that's actually going to last. Because that is the most common issue people have with freshy summertime fragrances, that they spray them on, you know, in 15, 20 minutes, you can barely smell it. In 2-3 hours, it's pretty much gone. So if you can pick something up on the cheap that smells like something way more expensive and has amazing performance to boot, that's gonna make it a hit. The question is, can it do all those things that Turathi Blue has done successfully? And if so, this one is probably also going to be a huge hit. So there we go, guys. There are some upcoming new releases. Let me know which one sounds the most interesting out of those four. I would imagine for a lot of guys out there, the clone fragrances, the Afnan and the Rasasi are going to be really anticipated, but also that Ralph Lauren, I hope it's good. Give me some flankers, nonsensical names. I don't even care. Name it Doritos for all I care. Ralph's Club Doritos. If it smells good, I'll wear it, but if it smells like a Dorito, actually, I don't know. That sounds pretty bad. That'll do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.